Hi friends! You guessed it, today's video is a comparison one juxtaposing Mothership 10 Moonlit Seduction against the several shades in the McGrath Labs portfolio, because that is something I think we are expected, well, when I say we creators, to do when a new palette comes along in a brand that often replicates. We recognize the nuances, and I think, you know, why not? Especially if you have a lot of Pat McGrath palettes, you have a lot of motherships that we can make comparisons and create our own new palette, if you will, from the shades we already own. And if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia, an online coach who specializes in flexibility and body weight training and helping people create sustainable habits in both nutrition and movement. But I also love to swatch eyeshadow. And I thought we will start off with the shades in Moonlit Seduction and go with the others that I thought about. Disclaimer, I might miss a few. And I think we have to tell ourselves, or ask ourselves rather, is it that important to compare each and every shade? No. If it's that important to you, you probably should just skip this palette. I see people get wrapped up in like, how does it look to this? How does it look to that? It's like, it might look the same more or less, but if you're that worried about it, just stick with what you already have. That would be my recommendation. Let's start with Skintense Glow. This is one of the cooler tones of the skin. Well, this actually Skin Tense. Usually it's like a skin show shade. And again, a lot more icy than your typical skin show shade, which have been warm. So let me grab our beloved Subliminal. We have Mothership 1 Subliminal. This is Skin Show Nude. And I think comparable to Skintense Glow. Except Skin Show Nude, I think, has a little more champagne, and there's like a little more silver in Skintense. Skin Show Moon Glow from my beloved Mothership 6 Midnight Sun. I think this has a little more. Actually, that looks pink, doesn't it? That's like a champagne pink. So those would be my standout comparisons from the Mothership portfolio. In regards to the smaller palettes, they actually are leaning very warm. I'm hopping into Celestial Odyssey. I'll come back in when comparing the matte shades because there are quite a few comparisons here, but this is very warm. As well as Celestial Divinity, I think, yeah, mostly pinky violet plum, so we'll skip that in the interim. Let's go to Rosewood Romantique, which one of my favorite shades that I did or used in the first video. Rosewood anything, like I said, I'm there. It's just a beautiful shade. Going into one of the quads from the Celestial Odyssey Holiday Collection 2021. Yes, we have quite a few in here. Mink Dusk I thought of, and this is Sienna Rose. Although a metallic, yes, if you have this palette already, you know, you already have a little bit of Moonlit Seduction going on. Mostly warm, however, because Moonlit Seduction has the lilacs and the duochrome in there. But let's quickly swatch again Mink Dusk. And I'll also swatch Sienna Rose just so you can see those work together. So we have Mink Dusk next to Rosewood Romantique and Sienna Rose. See a little more rose in here, a little more mauve from Mink Dusk. Maybe you prefer that. You know, you're like, I actually like more mauve versus rose, because depending on how much rose you have in a color, it could show warmer than mauve-y, cooler. That's totally up to you. I'll also like to hop into the Divine Rose Luxe Quad, Eternal Eden. Specifically this shade, Earthly Delight. Just from the pan alone, will be significantly cooler than Rosewood Romantique, and actually a little more pinky mauve. So Mink Dusk, mauve, but almost plummier. Is that a thing? I'm making that up. Rosewood Romantique has a little more rose red in there. I love Rosewood. It's a fantastic shade. Extreme Plum Noir from Utopian Dream Mothership 9. And I'll hop over again. So Rosewood, again, has a little more rose. There's a little more plum there, as you see. Extreme Burgundy from Divine Rose 2 Mothership 7. Definitely detect, yes, the burgundy tone. Very much different from Rosewood Romantique. I didn't want to pick up the palette, but this is Rose Dusk that exists both in Mothership 2 Sublime, Mothership 7 Divine Rose 1. Although not a matte shade, wanted to still compare it to Rosewood, considering it that, you know, it's Rose Dusk, has a similar vibe. And do keep in mind, because Rose Dusk is smooth, it's more like a satin. I feel she might categorize it as like a molten metallic. I consider it more like a satin shade. You can use this in the crease if you really like the rose tone in general, don't want to pick up Moonlit Seduction, but you have Divine Rose 1 or even Sublime. So you got Rose Dusk. I apologize about the traffic noise going on. I live on a main street. And the trucks, fam, they drive me nuts. Back into Celestial Odyssey, this shade here is a little more coral. I believe this is Electrique. And again, not the same rosy tone. I'll still swatch it. And we'll swatch this now. We have, hold on, Saturn Sunset, both from Celestial Odyssey. So again, we have Electrique, Saturn Sunset. Saturn Sunset, a little more like a plummy red, whereas again Rosewood is more rose, a little more muted in my opinion. Those are the standout comparisons for Rosewood Romantique. I want to hop over to Plum Cabaret. I'm like skipping over a little bit because I wanted to revisit the plum in Celestial Odyssey. Plum Cabaret from, again, Mothership 10. I briefly saw the other plum shades that exist in Pat's portfolio, and the Plum Cabaret shade a little more muted. So let's head over back into Celestial Odyssey. No, my apologies, Celestial Divinity. Celestial Divinity has this matte here, Venomous Void, which to me looks to appear more magenta, but here we go. Next to Plum Cabaret. So you see there's a little more magenta there in the undertone. Oh, and my apologies, there is the Bridgerton thing going on. Okay, so we have Forever Charmed, no, Forbidden Amour. This is from the second round of the collaboration. So Forbidden Amour has a little more pink in there compared to Plum Cabaret. And in the first collaboration, we have Plum Regalia, excuse me. I think might be a little more mauve-y leaning. Yeah, for sure. And I had said this reminds me of not Mink Dusk, but from the Divine Rose Luxe Quad, Earthly Delight. This reminded me of Earthly Delight, and I will swatch Earthly Delight again just so you can see Plum Regalia has a little more depth to it, and Earthly Delight a little more pink. And again, Extreme Burgundy from Divine Rose 2. And here we have again Plum Cabaret. Putting down Plum Cabaret again just so you could get a better idea of the undertone. Extreme Plum Noir from Utopian Dream, pairing a little more plummy. And my apologies, I did not swatch Secret Eden next to Rosewood, but I think Secret Eden, yes, as suspected, was leaning a little more muted pink. And this again, Rosewood Romantique. The shade I was looking forward to comparing, Xtreme Nocturne, especially with the shades that exist in Subliminal. So here we have Xtreme Nocturne, and I immediately thought of the shades from Mothership 1 Subliminal. First, we have Ultimate Taupe, which, I think just by the looks of it, this one here, appears to be a little more gray, whereas Xtreme Nocturne is like a taupe brown. So yeah, you get a little more gray in there, and this just beautiful dark bark brown undertone from Xtreme Nocturne. But again, if you have Subliminal, you got it in there, right? You can make something happen. And now we have Ultimate Taupe, which just blew everyone's mind, especially because if you were lighter, and this was like a great contour shade for the crease. Extreme Dusk from my Midnight Sun. This is gonna be darker bark brown, I think. And I did that over taupe because it just disappeared into my skin. Let's do that again. So Extreme Dusk has its own swatch. Interesting that, yeah, I think you see a little more taupe from Xtreme Nocturne, and Xtreme Dusk definitely has a little more black in there. I would probably categorize this as like the shadow version. Well, maybe not. I think Black Coffee still has a little more brown in there. Xtreme Dusk is still black brown, but leaning more on the black side. We have Dark from Sublime, and this shade almost is like a plum brown. Where is my Subversive? Let's take a look at Deep Shade, which I suspect would be, yeah, it's a little more of like that reddish brown. And you can see Xtreme Nocturne definitely more on the taupey side. Whoa, those are a lot of comparisons. We could do Bronze Devotion. I feel like we got a lot of devotion that looks like bronze in Mother's collection, but we shall go with it. So here is Bronze Devotion from Moonlit Seduction Mothership 10. I had to go in again with the Celestial Odyssey Quad, Bronze Borealis, both in Lunar Legend and Cyber Bronze. So let's do both Lunar Legend, which I think is going to be more gold bronze, and Cyber Bronze, more bronze. So here we go. Lunar Legend, Cyber Bronze. Cyber Bronze, a little more copper. Bronze Devotion, because it's with all these other like rosier tones, appears to be more of like a pinky bronze. I'm trying to turn my wrist so you can see that difference. Almost like a quartz bronze, which makes sense considering that Blitz Venus in the palette is like that quartz shade. So I see what they did there. From other palettes, well, picking up again, Deep Space Divinity, we have Golden Aura, as well as Dawn Fantasia. So here we have the more golden shade, and Dawn Fantasia I think is going to be, yeah, as suspected, a little more bronzy. Golden Aura is giving me Bronze Devotion vibes for sure. Maybe this has a little more pink, and Bronze Devotion compared to that shade, dare I say, I originally said pink. I think it's more like a taupey bronze, but not like so taupey gray. It's just on the edge of that shade. Sable Bronze from Divine Rose 1 Mothership 7. Ooh, that's almost like a plummy bronze. Doing these comparisons just kind of rekindles my love for a lot of these shades, and actually increases my appreciation, because when you see the nuanced differences and until you actually pair these together is when I think you can fully comprehend the differences. Now, is this required for you to do each and every time? Absolutely not. I'm a little bit of an eyeshadow nerd, and yes, I find fun in this. I know, get a life, Alicia. All that to say, I think it's great that, again, we can identify the differences, and maybe that will also help us kind of figure out on our own like what we like more and what looks better on us. I'm looking at Skin Show Nude from Divine Rose 1. I think it still might be cooler than, yeah, for sure, Skintense Glow. Skintense Glow still has almost like that lilac undertone, and from Divine Rose 1 you can have a lighter champagne shade. Iconic from Sublime might be, let's see, yeah, more quartzy, more taupey. Lazarus is not going to be the same, but while we're here, this is one of my most favorite bronze shades ever, from not only a palette, but in general. Lazarus, the best. Platinum Dusk. Platinum Dusk actually, although categorized as a metallic, it actually has nice twinkle there. It's more of a lightweight metallic, not like a bronze divinity. What is this called? Bronze Devotion. I love the texture of it, and believe it or not, I actually thought of Guilty Pleasure from everybody's favorite Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction. Not a fan of this particular texture. I think you can see that on camera, how it just kind of tightened up on itself. I love the taupiness of the shade. I just thought it was a little tough to work with. But compared to Platinum Dusk, a lot more silver in Platinum Dusk, and Guilty Pleasure I think is more like a taupey warmer taupe bronze shade. And I just realized I did not swatch bronze. What is the shade called? Bronze Eclipse to Bronze Devotion. They're not going to be the same. So here's Bronze Eclipse, Bronze Devotion. Bronze Eclipse has more gold, and Bronze Devotion, again, more quartzy bronze. I knew I was going to jump around a lot because my brain just can't take it. Anyway, did I forget to do... No, I didn't. We're right on time. Substance from Subliminal. Believe it or not, when I first saw Moonlit Seduction, I immediately thought of Subliminal. I knew it was a far-fetched idea comparison, but generally though, like now diving into this with Lilac Dusk, Astral Lilac Aura, okay. But this is Substance. I thought of Platinum Dusk, but Substance has more of like that gray lavender tone in it. Ooh. I mean, if you end up getting Moonlit Seduction and you have Subliminal, the looks, fam, the looks. Substance and Platinum Dusk together? Don't even. I know it's too much. Lilac Dusk, just for kicks. Oh my goodness. And I'm hopping over to the actual lilac shade in Moonlit. We have to. Come on. I can't. That is so pretty. Let me tap it over Lilac Dusk. This might have to be one of the standout duos from the entire Mothership portfolio. Moonlit Seduction and Subliminal. You got to. You have to. Because there's so many juicy combinations in here. Going a little willy-nilly, but it's okay. I think we're gonna make it. VR Ecstasy, I think, is just the new duochrome, not the new duochrome. This duochrome shift exists in several indie brands, yes. So that is the vermilion base with the blue flip, because the other duochromes, you have Sexual Terrestrial, as well as, hold on, you have Blitz Xtreme and Sexual Terrestrial, right? So dare I say that you got a little more flakiness from VR Ecstasy, but the shine is incredible. I mean, look at that. That's insane. The brand utilized the VR formula for the last two duochromes, whereas they use the Blitz formula for the Divine Rose 2 formula. No, they didn't. It's still a VR formula, but one is baked and one feels more like the melted metallic formula, even though it is considered a specialized shade in the palette. I love the baked formula for sure. So again, this is Sexual Terrestrial, I believe, from Divine Rose 2. But these two from Utopian Dream and now from Moonlit Seduction, they just have a little more shine in there. Motorcycles. Excuse me, I'm talking about eyeshadow. It seems like this formula is more foiled. Yeah, whereas the shade from Divine Rose 2 more baked, and baked could give a little more of a subtle glow. That's why I love the Divine Rose Glow highlighter, whatever it's called, so much, because the finish on the skin, I think, is blurring as well as luminous at the same time. With the eyeshadow though, I do prefer like that hybrid, whatever it is. Can't put my finger on it, but that's just what my instincts are telling me. Blitz Venus. Beautiful shade, hard to make out. I'm switching arms here. So this is another specialized shade where just, again, incredible shine. I'm looking at Bronze Seduction, Rose Gold 005. Just from the looks of the pan, this is going to deliver a little more pink, yeah, than Blitz Venus. So there you have that shade. Blitz Venus is really shiny. Like, the Blitz formula is like smooth. Sometimes hard to come by, especially when you want to pack a lot of in there. You might risk the fallout situation, a little flakiness. I don't know, man. The Blitz Venus shade is pretty nice. VR Violet from Subliminal. This is a duochrome topper shade. Again, could not have a better pairing between palettes. You have the pink base with the blue flip. Is almost as if this actual shade is made for VR Ecstasy. Oh my gosh. Hopping into Utopian Dream, we got these guys here. Astral Orchid and Venetian. I forgot which one. Hold on. Amethyst, Venetian. Amethyst definitely will bring out more of that neon purple flip. So here we go. We got the Venetian Orchid topper, and here we have the Amethyst topper. These have a little more flakiness to them than Blitz Venus, but yeah, not too bad. Beautiful shades, but I just think Blitz Venus is smoother. And why not? Let's hop into Bronze Solaris because I want to go with Astral Gold Lust. Let's swatch that first from Moonlit Seduction. And you're like, which one is that? This one here. We you know, Pat always has to include a gold, but this gold is particularly shiny. Like, whoa shiny. And smooth too. Like, one of the few astral shades that I think a little easier to pick up and to apply on the lid. So Bronze Solaris from Utopian Dream. I'm sure you already suspect from the looks of it. It's going to give us more bronze. Just a warmer dosing of color. But look how much flakiness is there, whereas Astral Gold Lust is a lot smoother. Jubilee from Midnight Sun, which, you know, when I didn't want to be too enthusiastic about it because I knew people would be on me, but I appreciate Jubilee for its subtlety. Yes, sorry, I didn't want to flip you off. That definitely has more of a antique yellowish gold for sure. Not as much shine as Astral Gold Lust. I mean, whoa. Now Astral Luna Gold, too much light, from Bronze Seduction. This is also a topper shade. This has a lot of reflectivity. Yeah, so I feel the Astral Gold Lust one has more of a gold base, whereas this is like a white base with that almost like a gold teal flip. So if you can see that, yeah, that's the more opalescent base, and you have more of a gold teal flip when the light hits. VR Nectar from Sublime, pink base with the gold flip. A little different from Astral Gold Lust, I believe, but here we go. You see the pink flip, or rather the pink base. There's the pink base, and there is, it's hard to see, but, or maybe it's the gold base and the pink flip. Is one of those. Now, I haven't been diving into the cardboard palettes because those contain matte and molten metallic formulas. They do not contain the Blitz or Astral shades, but you could have a shade similar in color. It might not have the same finish, but if you're not much of a fan of the Blitz or VR formula anyway, then who cares? Astral Lilac Aura. This is more of the topper shade from Moonlit Seduction. Definitely taking this on the back of my hand. I think we can get away with this part of my body. So here's Astral Lilac Aura. Definitely more of like an astral solstice moment. So people were not crazy about this shade in Midnight Sun. It didn't, or it seemed to not be a duochrome like the previously released duochrome astral shades that were in Sublime, Subliminal, and Subversive. Astral Solstice I consider to be your disco ball fairy dust shade. And I will place Astral Lilac Aura in the same category, right? You see the base is translucent. It's not meant to deliver color. It's meant to deliver sparkle and glitz, especially when you lightly tap that shade over any of the metallics in here. It's going to further amplify the shine, give it a little more of like that reflectivity. So just expect that from Astral Lilac Aura. It's not the same flip as you see from the, I'm going to call them the big three, right? Motherships 1 through 3. And if you have those palettes, especially if you have Subliminal and maybe you have Bronze Borealis, you could like combine these and kind of get Moonlit Seduction vibes, you know? Just a little bit. Maybe Moonlit Seduction inspired you to kind of hop around more between different motherships and combine shades that you didn't think would work out, but they actually do. I think that's it, fam. I might have missed a few, And if you are dying to see them, I will try to find the time to post the photos on my community board, but I want to get into the looks now, which will be a separate video. So if you want to see that one, I'll make sure to post the card above me when I have filmed and edited it. And yeah, I think that wraps it up. Let me know, fam, of other comparisons that I might have missed, but potential combinations that maybe you encountered in your head while watching this video. Share down below. I'm sure the fam will much appreciate it. I'll see you down in those comments. And until, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial. McGrath Labs Mothership Swatch Extravaganza comparisons or monthly faves. Take care, and I will see you again soon.